well, I'm in the shop. Woo! I've been making lots of signs with the laser, and that's kind of boringsville for you all, so I haven't been making those signs, but I was asked to make this into wood, or use this as a template on wood, and to make this with wood. It's a cover for an RV sink. And anyway, I don't have to do any of this stuff or this stuff. It's just making this with this groovy thing. And so I'm gonna try to do that. We had 2 slabs over there that we thought were juniper wood. And when I ran it through the planer, it turned out to be maple. We don't know where those came from, but I was really happy about it because they were thick. And so I've cut them down, and I have some maple boards here now from that slab. And I will be gluing it together. This one has a curve in it, so I will be able to fix that on the drum sander once we get some new paper for that. We ran out, well, we didn't run out, but we're on our last strip, and it's not as coarse as I'd like it to be, the paper. I want it to be 80 grit, so we ordered some 80 grit, that's coming. And anyway, so I'm just gonna glue this together, and we'll go from there. Husband said something about biscuit joining it together, so I was looking at that, but since this one board is, I'm afraid that when I flatten it out with the belt sander, it might show one of the biscuits. So I'm just gonna glue and go from there. I used Tight Bond 3 to glue these pieces of maple together since it is water resistant. I put the glue on and spread it all over the edges, and I used my fingers, which I don't care to do, but I did it that way anyway. And later I used a paper towel to wipe the glue off my fingers before tightening the clamps. Then tightened them up and got back to it another day. I took the wood out of the clamps and used the plastic sink cover as a template. Maybe this way, maybe that way. I had to find the right spot, and then I traced it out. Then I thought it would be nice to use the circle jig, so hubby secured the wood to the table for me, and I measured and set up the jig and tried it. And I noticed it wasn't following the line I had traced. So I turned it off and moved the jig around some more, and it still didn't follow the trace line. So I grabbed the plastic cover again, aligned it with the part I already routed, and then I traced around it again. I unplugged the router and I adjusted it. Then I routed this circle, but again, it didn't follow the line. So I checked it with the template, and sure enough, the template isn't a circle, but the template was within the circle that I made with the jig. So I traced around it again to darken my lines and decided to do this differently. Okay, plan B, bandsaw, big one. Let's try it. And this huge saw and blade worked really well. I compared it to the template and it was good. Look at that. So I traced the smiley face and I used a little bandsaw to cut that out. Okay, that worked. I didn't think this was gonna fit through the planer, but it's going to, yay! Yeah, let's see how it does. Ah! I ran it through the planer a few times until it was the thickness I was trying to reach. That bow in the board now was nowhere to be found. Okay, so I was told that it can be, this lip has to be this size, but the top of the lip can be taller. So I think I'm not gonna go any thinner than this. And now I just have to make this lip, and I'm going to have to do it with the router table because there's no other way to do it, I don't think, unless I made a template and all that stuff, which would be very difficult. So I think I will just use the router table. And okay, I got this all set up. I used this as a guide, so I have it set up for the height and everything. This worked really well, but I should have used a little wider router bit because this one left a little ridge. Yay! Let's look. Ah, it's got a little ridge. Okay, but yeah, that'll be pretty easy to get rid of. I'll just move this into some. There, that should get rid of it. Let's see if it will. Moving it in didn't take all of the ridge away, but it was thin enough that I was able to just break it off easily. Okay, I can deal with that ridge. Just like break it off. Yeah. Nice, nice. I think. I'm excited about it, I am. See how it matches. Oh wait, that's a little bit deeper. What? It's a little bit deeper. Just a wee bit deeper. Okay. So I used the router table again and I took off a little more. Okay, there. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that works. Yay! That works. Woo! Yeah. Okay. Woo! Now for not a sand bin. Okay, I'm just gonna use this hand thing first, since it's on this part. So I sanded with 80 grit along that lip, then used 150, 100, and 220 over all of the rest. So I finished it yesterday. And then I put a little message on the back with the laser. And then I put some tongue oil on it. And I forgot to film that. So anyway, it has one coat of tongue oil on it. And now I'm going to, it says to sand it with 4/0 steel wool. So I'm going to do that right now. And then I'm going to add a second coat of the tongue oil. And then it should be all finished. Yeah. The person who asked me to make this requested 100% tongue oil. It's been quite a long time since I've used tongue oil, and I'm not sure if the stuff that I had a long time ago was 100% or not, but this 100% stuff penetrates into the wood, and it makes a durable, flexible, and water-resistant surface that is also food safe once it's fully cured. And it leaves a satin sheen that feels so soft to touch. All of that information I got from Google. So anyway, I found it to be true and I really like it.
Once it had been curing for a few days, then I went over it with 400 grit sandpaper to make it have that nice soft feel.
Here it is! Yay, it's all done! And I really like this tung oil. And it feels so smooth and nice. I'm excited, and I hope it fits okay and everything. So thank you for joining me, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye!